by the legendary big car stars of the 30s, the 40s, and the 1950s. When the 1960s dawned, rear-engine cars were in the game, and they had paved the track. A.J. Foyt scored many memorable wins here at the Milwaukee Mile. In the 1980s, Gordon Johncock and Mike Mosley were among the stars, and a year ago, Michel Jourdain scored his first ever Champ Car victory. Who will go to victory lane this year? It's time for Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. Tonight, the Champ Car Grand Prix of Milwaukee. Earlier, we began the season at Long Beach in California. 2 weeks ago, the tour went south of the border to Monterey, Mexico. Now, back on home turf, the Milwaukee Mile on the shores of Lake Michigan. They've been racing on the Milwaukee Mile, as we said, for more than 100 years. And tonight, the fans have turned out in droves to see the return of the Champ Cars. Always a lot of activity at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. A wedding staged here earlier today. A couple of Champ Car fans decided this was just the right place to begin their life together. The teams are ready. The cars are lined up. We're about set to put the field in motion tonight for 250 miles here at the Milwaukee 1 Mile Racetrack.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Live at our field of Champ Car World Series competitors ready to roll for 250 miles of action under the lights. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin, joined by Trans Am star Tommy Kendall. Great to have you with us tonight for round 3 of the 2004 Champ Car World Series. Tommy, night race, oval, almost a short track. What do we see here tonight?
Well, the secret here is you cannot carry the car. You have to let the car do the work. Unlike all the road courses where the driver can really make adjustments midstream, you have to get it through your head, which is hard for a road racer, that you've got to let the car do the work. As the track changes, you've got to communicate that to the crew and make changes on your pit stops.
Third race of the 16-race season. Let's show you how the season standings shape up. It's been a Newman Haas kind of year so far.
It really has. It started in Long Beach. Sebastian Bourdais got good points there, but went to Monterey, Mexico, and was dominant. Has him on top of the points.
Paul Tracy, who won the season opener at Long Beach, sits third after an outing in Mexico that wasn't very strong. Carpentier and Dominguez next in line, and rookie Justin Wilson is 6th in points coming in here tonight. Tommy, how about our Bridgestone Tire keys to the race?
The keys to the race, staying on top of the handling changes. Like I said, you cannot carry the car. So as the track changes, you're communicating with the crew will determine how well you come out on the end of those things. Pit stops, because of the reinstatement of the fuel windows, virtually all the leaders will be pitting on the same lap. So getting the car into the pit box is the driver's job. And then it's the crew's job to not make any mistakes, get them out trouble-free. Starts and restarts. By far the best chance to make up positions, but because of the low tire temp and pressure, it's also the riskiest. Add to that extra 50 horsepower from push to pass, and you've got a volatile cocktail.
And the weather's a question mark tonight. We could see a race shortened here by rain. Now let's take a look at our starting lineup. 18 cars and drivers ready to battle. Our starting grid is powered by Ford.
On the pole, Ryan Hunter-Reay driving the number 4 Air Desk Competition Lola, seeking to announce his arrival at the top echelon of Champ Cars. Row 2, the Milwaukee track record holder, Canadian Patrick Carpentier, driving the Index 4-side Racing Lola. He knows what it takes to go fast in Milwaukee. Paul Tracy, who was absolute magic working the outside lane last year, look for more of the same from the reigning champ. In row 4, another former winner of Milwaukee, Jimmy Vasser, in the Gulfstream Aviation Lola, was quietly confident after qualifying. In row 5, the defending champion at the mile, Michel Jourdain Jr. in the Gigante Lola, starting to round the Rousport team into form. In row 6, Justin Wilson, the highest placed rookie and F1 veteran, says he's not sure how hard to push this car because he's never done it before. Row 7, Aj Allmendinger, the blazing fast rookie, admitted he probably isn't getting the most out of that Lola because of the death grip he has on the steering wheel. On row 8, a Formula One refugee, Gaston Mazzacane, a guy you would think would be used to the high-speed oval, said, "This stuff is crazy." On the last row, Nelson Philippe, a 17-year-old rookie, received a polite scolding from Paul Tracy after almost putting the champ into the wall on Thursday night. He has to learn to race on an oval while keeping an eye in the mirror for the leaders coming up the lap.
And we've got several different onboard looks for you tonight here at the Milwaukee Mile. We will ride with Alex Tagliani in car number 8. That's the Johnson Controls machine. He will start fourth row inside for Rocket Sports alongside American veteran Jimmy Vassar. We'll even have a helmet cam so you'll see Tagliani's view as he looks down into the corners here at the Milwaukee Mile. AJ will start, or Alex, I should say, will start in 7th spot. Onboard views as well from Sebastian Bourdais, the series point leader. He was on the pole for a while last night, Tommy Kendall. He has to start alongside the pole sitter outside row number 1.
And after his relationship with the Milwaukee Mile, a terrifying race here last year, saw his teammate crash big on the first lap, struggled all race, huge crash in testing. For him to be on the front row, I think that was way more than he expected. But now that he's there, he's got a whiff of the front. He's going to try to make something of it.
Heading down the backstretch, Aj Allmendinger also carrying some of our onboard cameras tonight. He will start in 13th position in that car for the Roost Sport team. That's the yellow number 10 with help from Red Bull and, of course, the folks at BG Products, Berry Grant Fuel Systems. Ready to go racing. We're glad to have you with us tonight for the Champ Car Grand Prix of Milwaukee under the lights on the Milwaukee Mile. 250 miles of action. Ryan Hunter-Reay in the 4 car for Herdez is on the pole. Green flag is in the air, and here we go. Trouble. One car into the wall. It's one of the MyJack cars. Is that Justin Wilson? He's knocked off a winglet, spins the MyJack car to get it pointed in the right direction. Early trouble, and the yellow is waving after one lap here at the Milwaukee Mile. And that was what we had talked about, Tommy, not on the air. You and I had talked about the possibility of someone on the outside getting stuck in the marbles going right to the wall.
And now that's the first time that Justin Wilson has experienced that degree of turbulence. So he's been trying to sneak up on it a little bit by little bit, but now all of a sudden those wings and the underbody of that MyJack car were not getting clean air, and it's literally like someone just kind of reaches up and pushes up underneath the car, not nearly as much grip. The car just kind of floating around.
Now the MyJack crew quickly puts the car up on the air jacks. They will put a new nose piece on the 34. Show you what happened. Take a look. You're looking for the yellow and red car. There's Wilson. Just got away from him.
Yeah, he was on the outside. You saw Allmendinger underneath him there, and that's what happens. Low tire pressure, low tire temp, and he probably thought he was being conservative.
Could have been a very, very hard hit into the wall. He managed to straighten the car out a little bit before he got there.
And the only contact was the nose on the wall, so that didn't hit either of the corners, so I think the alignment should be fine. Other than some frayed nerves, he should be okay.
Calvin Fish.
Well, it just looks like nose damage, but unfortunately it took him a while to get it off. I would believe that they would have tried to get him out, stay on the lead lap, then bring him in again. Right now, Justin is going a lap down. Looks like the change is being completed. Don't see any problems with the suspension, though, Derek Daly.
Remember the reason they put him in the Reynard here, because it's uncharted territory. As we just saw, they put him in that car to save the Lola just in case something happens, which it did.
So the caution is waving here at Milwaukee. 2 laps are on the board. Caution laps count, of course. And we see Wilson getting the car around the access road. As you leave pit road here, you no longer come right out into the middle of turn 1. You blend in on the back straightaway. The speeds are so high for the Champ cars here now that you couldn't do it any other way these days. Wilson up through the gears. He will tag the back of the field for the restart. Interesting the way this developed, Tommy, I think, as we went through the first couple of corners. Ryan Hunter-Reay jumped out. Paul Tracy gained a spot, but Bourdais lost a bunch.
Yeah, you had Carpentier was making a bid, and I think Bourdais was just being careful. The way the point system, I talked to Craig Hampson from his engineer on the McDonald's car, and he says the way the points are now, unfortunately, they're not rewarding aggression. So we told our drivers, we don't care if you win. All we care is do not make a mistake that puts you out of the race. So that's obviously gotten through to Sebastian Bourdais, and he's just making sure.
Only 3 gears in the gearboxes here at Milwaukee, but up through the gears quickly. Ryan Hunter-Reay brings him back to the stripe to begin lap number 4.
Tracy looking on the outside. They actually touched wheels. You saw a puff of smoke. He goes around Dominguez, taking a look on the outside of Carpentier.
Oh, almost ran out of road there. Tracy on the high side, Carpentier down low.
Getting a little bit of a squeeze from his teammate. Can't make it stick. He's up in the gray.
Carpentier stays in front of Tracy for second. Great battle in 3 and 4 there.
And they're doing this when the cars are not optimal. Everything is not up to temperature and pressure, and the tires are part of the suspension, and so the angle of attack that affects those all-important aerodynamics that Derek talked about a little bit is affected by the tire pressures.
Scoring, of course, at the top of your screen. The two Indec Forsyth cars running in second and third spots right now behind leader Ryan Hunter-Reay. Carpentier with about a 0.6 of a second lead. There's the defending series champion Tracy. Now we're showing you how much time each driver has left in their 1 minute of push-to-pass time. Some drivers haven't used it at all yet.
And Tracy has used, I think, 11 seconds of his, probably on the initial start and the restart.
Remember, Tracy started third row inside, fifth spot, wanted to jump around a few guys at the beginning, made two passes, got the help, of course, from having Justin Wilson spin toward the wall up in turn 2. Carpentier has used some time. Tracy, as you say, has used 11 seconds of it so far. Bourdais hasn't touched it. You're watching Patrick Carpentier run second. In car number 7, Tracy is third. Your leader is Ryan Hunter-Reay off the pole, and he's built a 1.5-second gap, Tommy.
He has, and he's pulling away. I was looking to see if maybe Carpentier, once he got settled out with Tracy, it wasn't side by side, if he could close that gap. But Hunter-Reay is just picking up where he left off in qualifying. A little bit closer that time, less than 1/10 of a second quicker, but 1/10 of a second here is quite a bit.
Watching your second place car haul down the backstretch here at the Milwaukee Mile. 10 laps are on the board. Ryan Hunter-Reay is your leader. More racing, and a look at Aj Allmendinger and his cheesehead coming up. Looked like under the lights 1 year ago as Paul Tracy was on his way to the win. Bronte and Aj Allmendinger will take you for a tour of the fairgrounds when we come back. With Tommy Kendall, I'm Rick Benjamin. 23 laps are on the board at the Milwaukee Mile tonight. The Champ Car World Series, the Grand Prix of Milwaukee, riding with Sebastian Bourdais, the series points leader. Running in 6th position, Tommy, a moment ago, he had some problems.
He did big time, and I'd like to add traffic to Bridgestone Keesley race because I forgot about the speed discrepancy between the front and the back of the field. He was trying to get around Ricardo Sparrofico. Sparrofico came up, chopped across the front of him, lost all of his downforce, almost hit the wall. A bunch of guys went sailing by.
He's got Michel Jourdain right with him now. This is a battle for position for 6th. Bourdais tried to hold off Jourdain, last year's winner, right behind him. And they're right behind Rodolfo Levine, who's running 5th. So 5th, 6th, and 7th, nose to tail. Lapping by Nelson Philippe as they head into 3.
And those slow cars, once they start getting to pass, that really rattles a rookie like a Philippe or a Sparrofico, because instead of just concentrating on this daunting track, you got to worry about guys behind you. And so even they were running slower before. When this starts happening, they'll run slower yet. It's hard to get into a rhythm. Those end up being like moving jam cars in a video game. And the experienced guys will be able to use that to their advantage. It never works, always works out in your favor, but you can use them as moving picks.
Watching the battle, Levine in the Corona car. That's the blue and yellow machine. Here's Bourdais, the points leader in the McDonald's Deuce. And behind those two cars battling, you've got Michel Jourdain and his Gigante number 9. He started in 9th. He's gained 2 spots. He's used a good bit of his push to pass. 22 seconds already gone from Jourdain's bank of 60 seconds. As we ride with Bourdais down into 3 and 4.
Now you've got to get a shot out of that car right in front of Bourdais is the Corona car, Rodolfo Levine, and Champ Car fans are used to him being one of the back markers who's being lapped, and he has been really good all year, and he qualified right next to Paul Tracy on the 3rd row, and he is running in 5th spot right now. Very competitive lap times with the leaders.
And when we were in Monterey 2 weeks ago in front of his home fans, he was very impressive. That's Levine whistling by, running in 5th spot.
And running right behind Mario Dominguez. Mario Dominguez and Michel Jourdain are the 2 big-name Mexican drivers in the Champ Car Series. Levine, with the adulation that we saw in Monterey, Mexico, that is afforded to the guys that run up front, the Mexicans, Levine is inching his way up there. Getting hooked up with the Forsyth team was very good for his confidence, learning from a guy like Paul Tracy as well.
So there's Levine running in 5th spot. 4th belongs to Mario Dominguez in the green car that you see right there. So Dominguez in one of the 2 Herdez machines. It's a good battle for position. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, all close here on the racetrack. Ryan Hunter-Reay, though, building a 4.5-second lead. Alex Tagliani not having a good night so far, Derek Daly.
Rick hasn't had a good weekend, has struggled. After Mexico and the crash, they came here with a new tub built from a car Dario Franchitti once used. Well, that was tub number 31. Alex is a bit superstitious. He didn't like that number. They rebuilt the car before qualifying, said it was a little bit better, but we're not sure now because he struggles. The question is, will speed win out over superstition at the end of the night? Calvin?
Well, down here at Quoncrest Racing, certainly Justin Wilson, one of the early casualties in terms of the spin and the damage. Eric Bechelot, car owner for the 34 machine. Eric, what is your strategy now, and what caught Justin out there on the first lap?
Well, I mean, I think we're going to have probably a different strategy, you know, because we lost. So we're going to see what happens with the yellow. Probably when there is a yellow right now, we're going to stop for sure. It depends actually what the leader is going to do, but we're going to do something different than the leaders.
Was that the turbulence from the pack of cars, slightly cold tires, or just too much getting a bit excited there in the early going?
Well, he said he didn't know what happened. You know, it went so quick. So, and I haven't seen. I need to see the replay, so I don't know what happened. But I think it's fine. The car is okay, you know, and it just didn't hold up in the traffic a little bit.
Okay, well, certainly in the early going here at Milwaukee, he complained of a very loose car when he got in traffic. But after qualifying last night, he had a big smile, Rick Benjamin. I'm sure that's changed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was loose on the outside too. That's what got him up to the wall, Tom.
Well, and that's what's so spooky about the rookies when they come here. They'll have
one car in trouble. Looks like Tagliani off the pace, sorry. Wilson ducking inside him. Tagliani is backpedaled. He started 7th, back to 14th, and he is way off the pace. You can look at his hands. He's really fighting that thing.
Well, and whether it's superstition or not, whatever it is, if you don't think the car is fast, it's not going to be. And what on these...
Derek Daly, what are you hearing down there from the Rocket Sports team?
Phil Howard, the team manager, just told me big time loose. He's getting sideways, can't hang on. I don't think they're going to leave him out there much longer.
He can't keep the car at the bottom of the track in the corners at all.
And this is classic Milwaukee. For whatever reason, we didn't see it a lot last year with the cool temperature, but this is what happens at Milwaukee. You'll have guys at the front of the field streaking away, and all of a sudden, the cars go mysteriously loose, meaning the back of the car wants to slide, literally wants to spin itself out. A loose car at Milwaukee, there's two eventualities. You're going to crash soon, or you're going to crash later. So they will, even though they aren't in the fuel window, at some point they'll make the decision to get him in and try to make a change to make that car drivable.
Watching Tagliani fight that 8 car down into the corner. Rodolfo Levine trying to lap him. Look at Tag. He's way high. I mean, he just can't wrestle that car to the bottom. He knows he's slow. He's trying to stay out of everybody else's way, I think. Rodolfo Levine up to 4th spot now. Sebastian Bourdais has moved to 5th. Michel Jourdain to 6th. Mario Dominguez is backed up to 7th. There's Bourdais in the McDonald's car swinging to the inside of Tagliani. Looking to put lap 40 on the board this time by. Musco temporary lighting makes this place as though it's daytime. But the drivers still know this is a whole different ball game at night. Tagliani staying out there hoping for a caution.
Yeah, well, you can see the car twitching there on the exit. This makes it a long day even longer. You see Ryan Hunter-Reay has already put a lap on his, trying to put a lap on his teammate. Dominguez, who was running in front of Levine and Bourdais, is now falling back. Whether it was traffic or his car has gone loose, it's hard to say.
7 cars remain on the lead lap as the 2 Urdez machines work the corner. That's Gaston Mazzacani in the 19 car, one of the 2 Dale Toy machines. Mazzacani from Argentina. His first Champ Car start tonight at a place he'd never seen before this weekend.
And he's raced in Formula 1, but he has not raced anything in 2 years. So I guarantee you things are coming at him pretty fast right now.
Sitting in 15th spot, he'll give way to one of the PKV cars.
Jimmy Vasser.
Vasser swoops by. Jimmy in 8th position. Now we're 41 laps into this, Tom, and Hunter-Reay is 11 and a half seconds ahead of the field. But he'll come back to the pack as we cycle through pit stops.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, if we get a yellow, they will. But if everyone stops on the same lap and has comparable pit stops, then you would expect the gap to stay about the same. So if you get a yellow, he does not want to see a yellow at this point.
Watching your leader, Ryan Hunter-Reay. This is Dominguez, who backed up to 7th. He had been 4th earlier and lost 3 spots in 1 lap. Here's Levine swinging inside him, going down into turn 1.
And it looked like Levine was quicker and was just waiting for an opportunity. Got a run coming off 4. And look, Dominguez pushed up. You see him up in the gray.
Wow.
And at that point, you're not worried about losing position. You're worried about keeping it off of the wall.
That was Bourdais going by.
And here comes Jourdain. And that's how quick it happens here at Milwaukee.
And just like that, Mario Dominguez went from 4th to 7th spot. That was a few moments ago.
Saw a little flash from the taillight, meaning Jourdain was on the push-to-pass button.
Ryan Hunter-Reay, 12 and a half seconds ahead of Patrick Carpentier, his teammate Tracy, Rodolfo Levine, and Sebastian Bourdais in Milwaukee. And by the Ford Explorer, ready for adventure. Points leader Sebastian Bourdais stopping on pit road, whacked the turn 4 concrete moments ago. May have broken something under the car, Tommy Kendall. As he was coming around to pit road, we saw sparks.
We just saw the all done signal from the right front guy. You can see the wishbone there is wrinkled. What happened? He got a little bit wide up into the gray and wrinkled those wishbones. So there goes the points lead. Just like that, even though with instructions, you got to be conservative. I'm sure he was being conservative. This is an interesting thing we're going to have to follow. Guys getting even a little bit offline are getting up into the marbles. So it'd be interesting to see if Champ Car maybe decides to sweep the track. Marbles are little bits of rubber that come off the tires, and they act just like they sound. When the car gets on them, it's like you're on marbles. The car skates. No matter how much you do to the throttle, the car just goes the direction it's heading.
Take a look at it. This is a fairly distant look at Bourdais, way up high, but you can see him scuff the wall there, and it's a part of the tub dragging on the racetrack after he clipped the fence.
That's the
front suspension?
That's the skid plate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the suspension dragging. He's actually snapped the back half of the lower wishbone.
Take a look at it from Bourdais' view. He's coming off 2 here, so we've got a few seconds to go. Look at the move inside.
Levine made a slip off at turn 2, and he's trying to. And now, when the car crosses in front, that messes up all the air going over the wings. And he's out of the gas. Wheel crank, bang. You saw how slow it was going.
That wasn't a love tap. That was a pretty hard hit. The leader's on pit road, Calvin Fish.
Ryan Hunter-Reay hits his marks perfectly. Now he's gone to a scrub set of Bridgestone tires. This means they have a scuff on them. Got a few laps, could still see the lines, and he just beats Rodolfo Levine, who must have had an excellent pit stop a little bit further down. Carpentier's on his way, as well as Tracy, the 3 Forsyth boys.
Well, that's how you can cough up almost a full lap lead on pit road.
Yeah, that's exactly the ticket. And I'll tell you, that's a good insight. There's a guy, Sebastian Bourdais, who we've seen with incredible car control on a road course. It just shows you with the knife edge. He was trying to make a little move. He wasn't that close to Levine. Levine drifted up in front of him. All that dirty air going over the wings, only about half as effective as usual.
Yeah, just about the rest of the field. 53 laps on the board. Rest of the field coming in. Alex Tagliani fighting a bad race car, Derek Daly.
Major downforce change in the front of his car. Look, winding out the last turn. Off front wing. And he just beats out his teammate Nelson Philippe in a blaze of wheel spin.
Jimmy Vasser down and away. The 2 Rocket Sports cars coming back out. Here comes the other Herdez machine of Mario Dominguez. Aj Allmendinger heading down pit road to rejoin the battle. There's Mario Haberfeld and Derek Walker's Cummins car. The N2 Holdings machine of Roberto Gonzalez. This is the battle between Levine and the Corona car, the Herdez machine of Ryan Hunter-Reay.
And that's just how close. A little bit quicker stop by the Corona crew.
Bourdais, meantime, has lost 3 and now 5 laps, and they're pushing him back to the paddock. Now everybody's had a pit stop. Fresh tires, more fuel, a chance to adjust the race cars. Green flag back in the air at Milwaukee, and here we go.
And Tracy trying to capitalize again on this restart.
The 2 Forsyth cars side by side in the first turn. Up in the marbles. Is that Tracy into the wall?
Yep.
Wow. Carrying the car number 1, the series champion, wrinkles up his Index machine big time, and the yellow is displayed once again here in Milwaukee.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. I said that's your best chance to make positions, but it's also the riskiest.
Tracy was 3rd, going for 2nd on the restart. No grip.
And that's purely a function of last year there were 2 grooves. You could have gotten away with that move. For whatever reason, there's marbles now, so it's turning into a 1-lane racetrack. Car starts to drift up on him right here, and he's in trouble just like Bourdais.
We saw on the in-car view of Sebastian Bourdais when he hit the turn 4 wall a few moments ago. He had that wheel cranked hard left. I'm sure PT had the same thing going there, but you just can't stop it.
Nope. And if the front bites, the back's going to swing around on you. At that point, it's just you just keep your fingers crossed and pray that you make it through.
Hard damage, a heavy hit to Paul Tracy's number 1. We'll find out in a moment whether he has a chance to return tonight. Green flag back in the air at Milwaukee to begin lap 64 of 250 tonight here at the Milwaukee Mile. You're watching the Champ Car World Series alongside Tommy Kendall. I'm Rick Benjamin. Calvin Fish, Derek Daly on pit road for us. Hunter Ray with a narrow lead. Patrick Carpentier sits second. Michel Jourdain, last year's winner, has quietly worked his way to third after that round of pit stops. Mario Dominguez back in it in fourth. And Jimmy Vasser, who won his last race in 2002 on an oval, sits in fifth. Let's go back just a moment, and we will show you the last couple of incidents here in the Milwaukee Mile. Points leader Sebastian Bourdais getting in trouble off turn 4 just a few moments ago. Fighting it up in the marbles, clouts the wall with the right side of the car, and he looks to be done for the night, Calvin Fish.
He certainly is, Rick. He brought the McDonald's car back to the team transporter. The guy said there's too much damage. Sebastian, what happened up there in the corner?
Well, there was a bunch of cars in front of me, and we were just... we just established the contact, Lavin and myself, and I was low, and then when he went low also, he just took the air out of my front wing, and I just went straight, so downshifted, tried to slow down the car, but there was nothing to do. I was in the marble.
Okay, well, a tough day for the championship leader. He'll rebound, and he heads off to Le Mans, his hometown and home track, for the 24-hour next week, Rick.
One driver who certainly will be glad to leave the oval. Now the series champion, Paul Tracy, trying to make a move on the high side to take second away from his teammate. He ran out of road as well, got up in the loose stuff, and took a very hard trip into the concrete. Derek Daly standing by with Paul Tracy.
With a very dejected team, very dejected Paul Tracy. Paul, it was a brave move, but just not enough grip on the high side.
Wow, there's enough grip if your teammate leaves your room. I mean, he did the same thing to me on the first lap in turn 4. I was on the outside of him, and he just stuffed it in there so hard that he didn't give me any room and forced me to lift off. And then the same, I passed him around the outside, and he just drove it in so hard that he just, was either going to run into the side of me or if I didn't move out of the way. So, I know it's racing, but it's, we're teammates, and it's disappointing.
Thank you, Paul. Bad end to a day. Paul Tracy, remember, won here 3 different times. Not tonight.
Won't get his 4th career win at Milwaukee here tonight, definitely. But Patrick Carpentier runs in second. Here's another look at the move. Tommy, obviously no team orders here.
No, there's not. And, the replay there, Patrick was, I didn't see him slide up in the middle of the corner. He wasn't on the yellow line at the bottom, but he was towards the bottom, and I think I thought he put much more of a squeeze on him on the opening lap. Looked like they had interlocked wheels on the back straightaway there, but that time, once he got up in the marbles, I think that's a bigger factor in this case than the teammate.
Is that just a situation where Tracy's the defending series champion? He's widely considered to be the best driver on the tour right now. Does he just expect guys to move for him?
Well, you can kind of scare guys out of your way a little bit when you develop that reputation, and people know he's not going to back off. And so Carpentier, I think, playing the odds, he knew he was on the low side. I didn't see a big move, forcing him up. It looked like the car just didn't stick. I think that's maybe earlier frustration coming from the first lap incident, which was a little bit more dicey. But, you have a team, it's early in the season, they're both in the championship hunt. You're not going to have team orders. You don't want them banging into each other, but you got to let them race, too.
Riding with Alex Tagliani, wearing our helmet cam here tonight. He's been struggling tonight. 13th, let's listen in. Car does seem to be handling a little bit better. Our Ford telemetry, 6th gear here at the Milwaukee Mile. Tagliani back in 13th position, chasing leader Ryan Hunter-Reay. Lap 83 of 250 at the Milwaukee Mile. A lot of people wondered why Gaston Mazzacani would pick an oval to make his Champ Car debut. He's probably wondering the same thing, Tommy Kendall.
Yeah, that's a good question, but I think he probably said an oval, how tough can it be? From afar, if you haven't been exposed to it, that's kind of the thought. You're like, oh, it's an oval. It's a slow one, mile. Well, slow, 180 miles an hour average speed is not slow.
Things happen quick. A lot of drivers, as we said at the top of the broadcast, consider this a bull ring. You're lapping this place at 22 seconds. Mazzacani got caught out coming off turn 2. It's been the trouble point for several drivers, including champion Paul Tracy. He side-slaps the wall in 2, knocks the back wing off Dale Coyne's AMR car. Nearly had that car take off. It stays nailed to the ground, though, and Mazzacani was able to hop out, and he appears to be okay. Derek Daly.
Team owner is Dale Coyne. Dale, Going through one of your best seasons so far, any indication that he had trouble before you saw the incident?
No, it looks like he just, the same thing happened to Tracy. If you get just a little bit high here, you catch the marbles and it's ice to the wall. You're lifted and you're holding your teeth and you're going slow and you still hit the wall.
What about Servia? Any report on Servia, your second driver?
He's doing all right. We didn't have the best pit stop. We lost a couple positions on that first pit stop, but he got him back, so he's doing a good job out there. So we'll keep going with him and try to get him up there.
Good. Dale Coyne Racing qualified both cars in the top 10 for the first time in Mexico just a couple of weeks ago.
Serbia on the podium here a year ago, Tom, and he's up to 8th right now.
An interesting thing is he's been banking his push-to-pass stuff, so I think with all this frantic racing early, if he has a bunch in the bank and everybody else has it spent on the restarts late in the race, he might be able to make something happen.
Ryan Hunter-Reay continues to show the way in the 4 car, the Erdez machine. He's led all the way from the pole here tonight. He certainly had the fastest race car in race trim, just as he did in qualifying.
Yeah, and all the problems that seem to be affecting everybody else are not seeming to affect him. His car is still a rocket ship.
Now it looks as though Hunter-Reay and some of the other lead lap cars are thinking about making a stop here. We haven't even gone 30 laps from the last pit stop. Why would you stop now?
Well, I'd have to do the math. It'd be 24 plus 59 would be where, so they are in the window, I think, to go to the end with just 2 more stops.
Yeah, TK, that opened at lap 73. On 2 more stops, they can do it the rest of the way. So they're in their window. We expect the leaders to pit.
As the safety crew, the Champ Car safety crew, goes to work, very dedicated pros on the backstretch, cleaning up the mess from Dale Coyne's number 19, Gaston Mazzacani. More from Pit Road, Derek Daly.
With Carl Russo. Carl, a young team, but you have 2 cars in the top 6. You got to be a proud man.
Well, there's a long race left to go, Derek, but I think Michelle's showing you why he was a championship contender last year, and AJ's got a car that he's happy with, so they're coming to the front.
AJ is a potential star of the future. Do you see the road as bright as everybody else seems to see it?
I'd never tell him that, but no, I think we have 2 great drivers. Obviously, we took on Michelle with very, very late notice in Long Beach. The team has done an outstanding job putting 2 cars underneath these guys, which is going to take some time, but we're going to work our way to the front. They're both very talented guys.
Thank you, Carl. Roossport running P3 and P6 right now.
Aj Allmendinger has moved up from 13th to 6th. So far, though, no one's had anything for Ryan Hunter-Reay. 86 laps are complete at the Milwaukee Mile. Green flag is back in the air on lap number 99. Dominguez back up on the racetrack, but not up to speed yet. He is going to lose a lap here in this situation to the leaders. Here he comes up onto the backstretch. Ryan Hunter-Reay has led all the way. Carpentier with that bold move. How about Aj Allmendinger? He was down in 6th position. He just dove to the inside going into 3. Getting by one of the lap cars that was in his line. There's Allmendinger in the Roossport number 10. Sitting behind Jimmy Vasser. I believe he got by Bruno Junqueira there. Your Ford telemetry in 5th gear for Allmendinger, down into 3. Listen to his radio. Down into the first corner. Allmendinger reeling in. Looks like that may be the car of Roberto Gonzalez there that's up ahead of him.
I think he was asking his crew, saying, hey, Gonzalez is in the way. Tell the officials to get him out of the way.
Gonzalez in the N2 Holdings car. Most everyone has been to pit road in that long caution period. We're closing in on halfway, just 22 laps short of halfway. I want you to listen to the beautiful sounds of Champ Car racing in the Milwaukee Mile. We call this one Full Throttle.
Got the call in. So you get up on him, he'll let you by, but you got to get up on him.
Adolfo Levine down into turn 1. Levine was up in the top 4 earlier tonight. He's fallen back to 7th after a drive-through penalty, but he's turned in a great run so far here tonight. Nelson Philippe struggling in 14th spot. That's the white and blue Rocket Sports car, the lease plan machine. Alex Tagliani, who's really fought an evil handling race car, he's starting to pick it up. Tag's up to 10th now, Tom.
This is the ebbs and the flows of racing on the 1 mile ovals.
Mario Dominguez in the other Herdez machine, Calvin Fish. He had a good night going, but they had a couple of unscheduled trips to pit road. What happened?
Well, we'll try and get a chat here with Keith Wiggins, who's the manager here at Herdez. Keith, it looks like there's a bit of a mistake there on the 55 machine. You tried to increase the pit window, but you may have got caught out a little bit.
Yeah, we've got a radio, so I'm not actually sure, but I was just talking to the guys, and it looks like we got caught out by 1 lap there by trying to gain an advantage. So
certainly things looking good on the number 4 car with Ryan. He's run a tremendous pace. I know in the testing you did here, you did some long runs, 40, 50 laps. Is that paying off this evening for you?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, everything's in great shape. He's happy with the car, so keep our fingers crossed.
We know the marbles are bad. We understand Ryan on the radio has said for you to remind him, don't turn in too late, keep it out of the grey stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a continual thing, so just so he doesn't forget and try and push it. He asked us to remind him, so they are.
Okay, they're certainly going to do that. He looks like he's in control, but he realizes the slightest slip, and he'll be in the wall along with the rest of them, guys.
Meantime, we watch a battle moving by Ryan Hunter-Reay. Not much of a battle at all, moving by one of the MyJack machines. Ryan Hunter-Reay lapping this place at 23.6 in traffic. Not the quickest car the last couple of laps, but he's got such a big lead time. He's built it back to almost 6 seconds over Carpentier, who runs second.
Well, and you have to always look to the inside. You cannot take a gamble. Usually, the quicker cars, you move up top, you go around the outside. You're not going to see Ryan Hunter-Reay going up top on anyone tonight. He had to wait till he had an opportunity down low. You saw him use a little push to pass to get by Sparafico. But the fast line and what put him on the pole was the fact that he was able to really arc it in high into the corner, which helps it keep you from having to turn quite as much right in the center. Tonight, that's why they're asking to remind him. What worked so well in qualifying will just get him in trouble if he sticks with that tonight.
Well, we have a moment here in Milwaukee. Time for our Bridgestone Passion for Excellence. Downstairs to Derek Daly.
Indeed, here with Joe Barbieri, head of special projects for Bridgestone Tires. Joe, at the top of the show we talked about stagger, but there's a lot more that goes into oval track tires other than just stagger.
Absolutely. As the teams change their cars to handle an oval, our engineers have to design the tires to handle an oval too, especially the right side compounding and the construction to handle the extra loading that you get on an oval. So it's a lot stiffer construction than you'd find on a street course.
Joe, if you remember last year here, it was very cold. Is that a completely different challenge again? Or are the tires similar to last year?
Actually, they're exact same tires as last year, and luckily we are able to design them to be able to withstand the hot temperatures and the cooler temperatures too. So even though it's a little chilly tonight, it's still they're providing great grip out there.
I've seen you look at tires in almost every pit. Do you like what you see tonight?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a nice wear on them and everything. And I still, as you can tell, some of those leaders out there really are hooked up.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe Barbieri from Bridgestone Tire. Tires a key everywhere we go, and Bridgestone has certainly brought a very quick tire for some of these cars here tonight. Everyone gets the same tire, of course, but Ryan Hunter-Reay certainly using the compounds to advantage. Talk about stagger, Top Gun.
Well, stagger isn't just what the guys do after a few beers going out of the grandstands. What stagger in terms of tires is a key part of the oval track setup. And the best way to explain stagger is when you're having your morning coffee, knock your Starbucks cup over on its side and roll it. The bigger circumference on the outside helps the cup turn. What happens here when you have a spool differential where the inside wheel turns exactly the same revolutions as the outside, you put a slightly larger tire on the right rear. The difference in circumference between the outside and the inside is called the stagger. The molded tire here, the outside tire, is 0.42 inches further around than the inside tire. When you get on the gas, that basically helps the car turn all by itself. You have to turn it to the right a little bit to get it go straight down the straightaway, but the idea is that it really kind of drives itself around the corner.
Ryan Hunter-Reay has a 9-second lead, but the battle for second rages. This is Carpentier in the Index car, the blue machine. Right behind him, Michel Jourdain, last year's winner here. Jourdain didn't qualify well. Started back in the 5th row. He's advanced to 3rd, Tommy Kendall. He has reeled in the car that is in 2nd, the car of Carpentier. But he can't seem to get up on him and make a move.
No, he can't. That's a function of when you get close, the turbulence behind a car in front makes it difficult. And you see Vassar closing up behind. I think that's Vassar closing up behind Jourdain.
Jimmy's 4th.
He's 4th a lap down, so even if he gets around Michel, he has to go another whole lap to catch up. But for Jourdain to be running like he is and Allmendinger to run the laps he's been running tells you how hard that team's worked. The test here a month ago, those guys were so far off the pace they had them scratching their heads. Everybody left when it was raining. Those guys stuck around, got a little bit of running at the end of the last day and made a bit of a breakthrough, and now Jourdain, one of the quicker cars.
Jourdain, though, got close to Carpentier. Maybe Carpentier saw him in his mirror or heard about it from his spotter. Anyway, he's back on the gas, sitting in 2nd spot. Big crowd as always tonight here at the Wisconsin State Fair, the Milwaukee Mile. More than 38,000 fans on hand to watch Champ Car. Bronte Tagliani may have the best view of all tonight. Let's hear from her.
I'm up here on the spotter stand at the Milwaukee Mile, and you can hear the cars in the background. You can see the cars racing around out there. This is one of the best views, and it's even more beautiful because it's nighttime. Extra special because it's one of the only races, the only oval race, that you can stand up here and see the whole track at one time. The only place with a better view is with you at home in your living room.
I would second that point of view.
I would. And when she said you get up here, you can't get up here. The spotters can get up there. At the grandstand, you can't see the whole course. Now, what a spotter does is a spotter is the driver's eyes and ears. And as the cockpit sides have gotten bigger, it's really hard for these guys to see even right next to them. So they have a team member up on top of the grandstand who's calling, like, as these guys go by. See Nelson Philippe, who got a little sideways with Paul Tracy earlier in the weekend. Now, my engine builder from Rocket Sports is actually Nelson's spotter, and I rode down the elevator. He says it's going to be a busy night because the speed differential when people start lapping, you got to tell them, you have conversation like you've got a car low, you've got a car high. The important thing for a lap car is to hold your line and not deviate. The quicker guy will get around you if you either stay low or stay high.
Watching Rodolfo Levine in the Corona car, one of the Forsythe team machines. Levine back up to 7th after a penalty earlier. Behind him, the race leader, Alex Spirifico in that MyJack car, the 14. His first full season in Champ Car, ran 2 races last year. Now remember what happened to Spirifico. He had a problem on pit road at Monterey 2 weeks ago. In fact, when he came to a stop on pit road, well, he hit a couple of his crew members. Everyone was okay, but there were some minor injuries. Spirifico put some tire marks on the wall there at Monterey. That's the scuff mark after he white-walled or yellow-walled his outside tires, Derek Daly.
Well, you're looking at Russell Grossands. He was the fueler in that incident. He is not able to fuel tonight because of an injured shoulder. The man beside him is Garnett Beeput. He was the man that you saw do the gymnastics, and he had no injuries. But ironically, boys, this morning, he got 10 stitches in his finger when the side pod of the car came down on top of him. But Garnett, I know it looked like a very scary incident. Were you as scared as we were when we saw it?
Actually, I was just getting ready to jump out of the way, so I wasn't thinking of anything or getting hurt.
You weren't hurt at all?
Just my ankles.
How's your 10 stitches in your finger?
I'm sorry?
How's the 10 stitches in the finger?
Oh, much better. I mean, you don't think about it during the race, so you forget about it.
Thanks, Garnett. It is not a story that we tell many times, but there is such a commitment from these crew members to go over the wall to service their drivers. They will do anything if they think they can help the situation.
Well, you have to be dedicated. It is a team sport, Tommy Kendall.
You do have to be dedicated, but that was a big risk, and you know you're going to be in harm's way a little bit. I went to the Newman Hospice after Monterey to congratulate them on the win. We started talking about the incident, and I talked to Sebastian's right front tire changer, and I said, what would you have done if that happened? He said, I'd have gone up and smacked the driver in the head. So see a pretty close quarters there.
Carpentier trying to swing inside Oral Serbia. Is that Jourdain? Jourdain trying to get by him. Michel Jourdain in third spot, so the battle rages for second. Mario Haberfeld moves over and lets Aj Allmendinger move through. Allmendinger up to fifth now. Bruno Junqueira has been shuffled back to sixth. Jimmy Vasser rides fourth, a lap down. So Aj Allmendinger, the big mover of the night, from 13th up to fifth spot on lap 143. 107 miles of racing to go here tonight. I like Allmendinger. 2 championships in the last 2 years in the Barber Dodge Pro Series, then in Atlantics. He holds a nice steering wheel.
He sure does. He had a death grip on it last night after qualifying, and he came over to see Paul Tracy, and he says, man, this stuff has just got me spooked. I'm holding on. I really don't feel comfortable. He had a big crash here in Atlantics. Was one of the few tracks he didn't do well at. So to have a good run like this and get his confidence back, the team's fortunes ebb and flow with the driver's confidence. And it's natural, if you've been spooked, to have it can turn into a horrible weekend. But they've obviously nailed the setup on those Rue Sports cars, because other than Hunter Ray, he and Jourdain are the quickest cars.
This is for fourth spot. Vasser in the red and white PKV car, the Gulfstream entry. Right behind him is Allmendinger. Now, Carpentier hanging on to second. We've seen Jourdain do this before. Close in on Carpentier, then Carpentier pulls away. Looks like he's done it again.
Well, that's where the opportunities come on the 1 mile ovals. You have those jam cars, the lap traffic. If you don't time it just right like Carpentier, he was able to not carry the momentum off turn 2, and you saw Jourdain make a big move down to the inside, but obviously was not able to pull it off.
Ryan Hunter-Reay has checked out. He is more than 15 seconds in front of Patrick Carpentier, and we're hearing that Alex Tagliani has got a cut tire. Look at him wrestle the wheel down the backstretch. Yes, he does. His left rear is down.
On the monitor, guys, for TV?
We'll see if Tagliani can get the 8 car onto pit road safely with a tire down like that. What's he facing, Tom?
Well, I think he's actually trying to diagnose it. He can't see what we can see.
He's downshifting and heading to pit road, wrestling that thing. And here comes your leader, Ryan Hunter-Reay. To pit road, Calvin Fish.
Ryan Hunter-Reay brings the car in. He had to go around Patrick Carpentier's tires, and then he actually clipped the left front that was sitting on the ground for him waiting. Tires are done, like the fuel has come in during daily.
Michel Jourdain is in. He takes a tear off from his visor. There are no changes on the car, which is a good sign. Here he goes.
Down and away. And there is Jourdain, your third place car. Carpentier hangs on to second spot. Now, Tommy, as they use the access road to get to the backstretch, the speed limit is still in effect here.
Yeah, it is. I do not get that at all. I mean, I'm guessing they thought there might be a yellow, so they ducked down. But now this doesn't make any sense either, because if someone were to stay out, you lose almost 2 laps on making a pit stop. So all those guys a lap down, if they stayed out, they would get themselves back on the lead lap. If you get a yellow before you have to pit, you're golden.
Justin Wilson has been to pit road. There we see Levine on pit road. Mario Haberfeld has stopped. Jeff Carter wearing our helmet cap tonight, one of the crew members on Derek Walker's team. He's the lead mechanic.
Well, I think they pitted TK because their 59-lap window was up, so they needed to come in, and otherwise they had a penalty there, so that was the reason we saw the leaders on pit lane.
So Haberfeld getting back up to speed. Mario Haberfeld running in 10th position. Paul Tracy has climbed to the top of his team's transporter to watch the action here at the Milwaukee Mile. Your leader is Ryan Hunter-Reay. Riding with Aj Allmendinger. There he is, the rookie contender, running fifth. Hunter-Reay has led all the way up to lap 159 here tonight. Patrick Carpentier runs second. Michel Jourdain in third. Jimmy Vasser and Allmendinger. And Tommy, we hear about spotters quite often, but on an oval track, they're extremely important.
They're pretty much your eyes and ears. It's really hard to see much out of the mirrors on a champ car. So you rely a lot more on the spotter telling you when traffic is approaching you from behind, which way they're going, and then once they're clear.
Let's call your attention here, top left of your screen, the push-to-pass graph. You can see that Allmendinger has used 40 seconds of the 60 he's allotted, and he's used it to advantage. He's gained those 8 spots. That's what it's for.
He's going to have to consider using some by here if he can get closer to Alex Tagliani, because he's starting to get pressure from behind from Bruno Junqueira.
You got it.
Jimmy Vasser directly in front of Allmendinger, but it's about a 4-second gap right now. One more time, let's crank it up and listen to full throttle Champ Car action.
Get some traffic about 4 laps. Okay, you got spare feet, go about a quarter mile up here, and he'll stack it up for you.
Beautiful sounds of this near 800 horsepower Ford Cosworth motor. Ryan Hunter-Reay putting some beautiful music together on the racetrack as well. From the pole, he's led all the way, 164 laps led. Guys down on pit road, it's been really a team effort tonight, Calvin Fish. There's some great stories, I know, on this Herdez team.
There really is, and sometimes we fail to really report some of these human interest stories. This is Luis Pericarpi, who's the right rear tire changer on Ryan Hunter-Reay's car, the race leader currently. And yesterday his wife was taken to the hospital with a medical emergency. He called her and she said, no, you stay there. You got to do your job. You got a race to win tomorrow, and that's what it's really all about. So these boys are putting their lives on the line, and that's what it's all about. They want to win this race tonight, and the families are supporting them all the way.
And that's what it takes. We talked about team efforts in Champ Car racing. The families certainly have to get involved in this because a driver alone can't do it.
No, he can't. As we look at, there's the spotter stand up there. A couple of the guys from the Herdez team. And I think I saw a couple of journalists up there taking notes. Best, like Bronte said, the best view you're going to have of the race.
One of the beauties, of course, of oval track racing, you do indeed see the entire layout. You see all the action all the way around on a mile racetrack. It's such a big part of the history of Champ Car racing. It's great to come here to the Milwaukee Mile. Ryan Hunter-Reay won his first career race a year ago at the season finale down in Australia. And Tommy, you said that was a win that at least partly had to do with pit stop strategy.
Yeah, he was not even close to the fastest car. He was well back in the field. He had made a stop earlier, and then in a very rare occurrence on a road course, they had to close the pits, which flips the strategy exactly upside down. He was the only car, the last car that had made a stop before the pits were closed. It immediately promoted him to the lead. He still had to hold on for the last few laps, but he didn't just outright take it by the scruff of the neck and win in dominant fashion like he's doing tonight. If he can win like this from pole, leading every lap, this will establish himself as a bona fide race winner.
Looking at the stats from a year ago when Michel Jourdain scored his first career victory here, he led 234 of the 250 laps, and I thought, man, that's about as bad a whooping as you could put on one of these Champ Car fields. Ryan Hunter-Reay is on his way to maybe a stronger performance tonight. Watching Allmendinger down the backstretch, still sitting fifth. One lap down to the leader. But it's been a very good night for the Rousport team.
Good job. Jimmy's going under Nelson.
Getting by some of the lap cars, coming up on Nelson Philippe again.
You saw him. Oh, you heard him crack the throttle when Philippe pulled over in the dirty area in front of his car. Wow, that was quick hands, and his heart's probably in his throat right now.
Allmendinger, a young gun in his early 20s. Does it work on his mind to see the scuff marks out of 2 against the wall?
Everything works on your mind here at the Oval. Works on it more is probably the big crash he had in Atlantic testing here a year ago.
Lapping by Nelson Philippe up top. You see how much push to pass time the various drivers had here tonight. Roberto Gonzalez has used almost all of his. Aj Allmendinger has used quite a bit as well to advance 8 positions, riding 5th in the Champ Car Grand Prix of Milwaukee. Back at the Milwaukee Mile alongside Tommy Kendall, Ibrick Benjamin. 75 miles to go tonight. Ryan Hunter-Reay dominant here from the pole. He's led every lap. Patrick Carpentier, Michel Jourdain, Jimmy Vasser, Aj Allmendinger, rest of the top 5. Carpentier's had a good night. Jourdain has come from a long way back. Vasser's turned in a strong run. Allmendinger's probably had the drive of the night other than what Ryan Hunter-Reay's put together. Watching Alex Tagliani in the Johnson Controls 8 car. Tags back in 13th position after just battling problems all all evening long, including a cut tire just a few moments ago. One of the things we want to show you is how difficult it is for these drivers to adjust to the changing light conditions in one of these rare night races. We have some pictures put together, a time lapse, if you will, starting when this race began in daylight. Every 20 minutes, we've got some shots put together to show you just how little light is left. Here's Tagliani down into turn 1 right after the start when still daylight prevailed. 20 minutes later, dusk has started to gather. Another 20 minutes, pitch dark.
And there's actually a switch on the steering wheel to adjust the brightness of the LEDs, because what works in the daylight would be really distracting and cause some eye strain at night. So there's a toggle switch right next to his right thumb that is dash brightness.
Now we're using the visor cam in his helmet here, and we see the reflection on the visor. Team owner Paul Gentilozzi watching with the headset on from on high tonight. Does that reflection get in your visor and cause you problems?
It shouldn't affect you because it's perpendicular to your eyes. If you get pits in the visor, which we do, the drivers run little clear tear-offs.
Yeah.
But if you get pits, those pits become like little diffractors, and they'll starburst the light. And if you don't have enough tear-offs, you can start getting, and that would be a real issue.
You might have seen in other series, some drivers use a smoked lens on their helmet at night, but Tagliani not doing that. Derek Daly.
Well, one of the problems we documented was Tag went really slow. We saw a puncture tire. Have a look at this here. Look at the slice out of the left rear tire of Tagliani. This is not a Bridgestone tire failure. This slice here was a wing end plate from a car that we don't know who was responsible yet.
So some debris on the racetrack, evidently.
Well, I think what they're saying is it was a wing plate where
contact?
Contact front to back. And, I think it was Speed Racer used to have those little things that
the spinners.
The spinners gave the flat tires. The wing plate on a Champ car does about the same thing.
Ryan Hunter-Reay putting Alex Tagliani another lap down. Tagliani mired back there in 13th spot in the Johnson Controls Lola. Hunter-Reay has led all 182 laps. 3 cars remain on the lead lap. Patrick Carpentier 11.9 seconds back. Michel Jourdain is 12.8 seconds back, last year's winner. Still a long way to go, though, tonight. We've got 67 miles left. Calvin Fish, Ryan Hunter-Reay's car has been on rails all evening long.
I was just going to talk to his father, Nick Hunter-Reay, and he doesn't want to talk. This family is really nervous. Lydia will not come down to the pit lane at all. We want to have a chat with Nick there, and he says, no, I'm too nervous. I can't talk. So the pressure's on the family. The pressure's on the boy. They followed him all the way through Atlantics, and now in Champ Car, they're looking for that his second victory. Obviously scored the big win down in Australia last year.
And the blonde girl you saw in the background there is Ryan's girlfriend, Becky Gordon, and she has been around racing her whole life. Robbie Gordon's younger sister.
Ryan Hunter-Reay in the Urdez car has been the dominant player here tonight. One driver we really haven't spoken about since the early laps. I've been impressed with the ride, Bruno Junqueira. There's Becky Gordon watching from behind the pit box here at the Milwaukee Mile. A little chilly tonight. Some folks going with the jackets. Certainly called for as the temperatures head into the 50s here. Late spring. A lot of parts of the country, it's summertime already, early in June, although the official start of summer is still a couple of weeks away. But here in Milwaukee, it's still springtime. It's been pretty cool all weekend long. Wanted to talk for a moment about Bruno Junqueira. We'll try to show him to you in a little bit. Junqueira sitting in 6th. He's been sitting there for quite some time, but Junqueira didn't qualify well either. Started 10th tonight. There he is in the Pacific Care car for the Newman Haas team. Sebastian Bourdais was the points leader when we dropped the green tonight. Started on the outside pole. He was caught up in that series of wall-banging incidents we had early on over in turn 2. Junqueira could well end up as the points leader here tonight.
Oh!
Trouble for Mario Dominguez. Off the pace down the front straightaway. Now you do shift a little bit here.
Usually in traffic. On a clear lap by yourself, you would, but the drivers run either 2 or 3 different top gears.
We're hearing debris perhaps, and we might see a caution. We do. The yellow flag waves with 63 miles to go tonight. Caution on the speedway. Debris down the front stretch, and apparently Dominguez got into something. Safety trucks turning their lights on. They'll be heading up onto the racetrack, and it does appear that Dominguez, that's the call we're hearing on the radio anyway, got into some debris. Here he is moving to the outside of Tagliani's car in the corner and got sideways coming off turn 4. Just saved it. That's why he was off the gas on the front stretch. As they say in road racing, that was a moment. So Dominguez is okay, didn't hit anything, but the debris flag is out, as is the yellow. Your leader continues to be Ryan Hunter-Reay. You're Watching race leader Ryan Hunter-Reay heading back to the racetrack. Calvin Fish.
Well, a good clean stop there for Ryan Hunter-Reay. Everything looks smooth. The only thing I think that went wrong, the guy who squirts the water on after the refueling equipment comes out, squirted Ryan on the helmet. So we talked about the debris on the helmet. He's going to be wiping that thing off as he gets back under green. But everything looks good. Team are very confident. No changes on this car all evening. They certainly had a great handle on the setup tonight.
It's amazing when you think about it, Tom Kendall. We have said several times tonight about the changing conditions, daylight to dark, cooler temperatures, marbles on the racetrack. They haven't had to make an adjustment.
They haven't, no. And that just underscores what an incredible job that Ryan is doing himself as we see all the cars a lap down heading for pit road.
Justin Wilson's car. Aj Allmendinger up on the jacks, Derek Daly.
What a great run for Aj Allmendinger. Very much in a learning mode. Left rear did not get on properly. We spoke at the top of the show about the American resurgence. Well, with Ryan Hunter-Reay and Aj Allmendinger's performance tonight, it's in full swing.
Watching Mario Haberfeld be serviced by Derek Walker's team, the 5 car, down and away. Jeff Jenkins with our helmet cam tonight. 58 laps to go, so they're inside the pit window. And Haberfeld, who has been running back in 11th spot. Allmendinger continues in 5th. He's our featured driver this week on our Champ Car TV broadcast. He had an opportunity to act as sort of a tour guide here earlier this week at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds with our Bronte Tagliani.
You know, I wish I had a tour guide. Oh, look! AJ!
Hey, I'm Aj Allmendinger. I'll be your tour guide today. I was wondering if you'd like some beef summer sausage or some Wisconsin cheese.
Well,
I have it all here.
I guess the summer sausage because it supposedly makes you go faster. How about the world famous cream puffs?
You know, to be honest, I've never had a cream puff.
So we have burgers and soda and beer and brats. What's a brat?
I have no clue what a brat is. I'm just a guy wearing a cheese head. This huge slide here is the colors of my favorite NFL football team, the Green Bay Packers. And all I'd love to know is if Brett Favre would come out and one day drive the 2-seater with the Champ car and, you know, have me be his personal driver because I absolutely love Brett Favre. So, Brett, if you're watching, please come out and drive the 2-seater either at Milwaukee or Road America. It'd be great to have you. Now, one problem is, though, where's Bronte?
So thanks for the tour, AJ. I know you got to go back to racing. I can hear the cars back out there.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be your personal tour guide. Call me anytime you need to know anything about Wisconsin or a cheesehead, especially the Green Bay Packers and Brett Favre, because you can ask me. But you're right. There are cars out there. My engineer's going to be mad that I'm not out there driving right now.
Oh, wait. Give me the cheese hat. You got to get your helmet on, so
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
I didn't know they allowed Californians to wear cheese heads.
A little cheesy, I think.
I think so. I think AJ is a lot more comfortable with his Red Bull helmet on. Getting ready for the restart. Allmendinger will line up in 5th spot, 1 lap down to the leader, who continues to be Ryan Hunter-Reay. Carpentier and Jourdain also are on the lead lap in Milwaukee. Closing in on 50 miles to go at Milwaukee tonight. The Champ Car World Series. The Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. 1 to go to the restart. We've been under caution for debris on the front straightaway. Mario Dominguez got in a moment of trouble because of that. A few moments ago, all the leaders came to pit road. 2 cars came to pit road too early. Patrick Carpentier and Michel Jourdain running 2nd and 3rd. So Champ Car has given them a drive-through penalty. Now, Tommy, they're still 2nd and 3rd, but they're at the back of the line.
Well, actually, it's the opposite of what happened earlier with Levine. These guys stopped later with the lap cars. They should have stopped a lap earlier. Not only is that against the rules, it's also a major tactical error because if one had done it, if Jourdain had stopped on the lap he was supposed to, he would have automatically cycled in front. Now they have to go through all that traffic.
Fans are on their feet here at Milwaukee. 50 to go. Ryan Hunter-Reay leads them back to the stripe. He's led all the way. Bruno Junqueira is next in line. Junqueira is still 6th on the running order of things. It's Hunter-Reay, Carpentier, Jourdain, Vassar, and Allmendinger. But now Carpentier and Jourdain have to come up through the field from the back. Ryan Hunter-Reay could put them a lap down. A lot of jockeying as they hit the back straightaway. There are the 2 cars running 2nd and 3rd. They've gotten by a couple of the back markers. They're on the hammer trying to stay where they are in the running order. Let's get a little more on the situation. Here's Carpentier swinging inside Allmendinger. Calvin Fish.
Neil, make a right team manager for Forsyth. You tried to stretch it so you increase your fuel window there, Neil, but it cost you. What are the rules and why did you get penalized?
Basically, we pitted out of sequence. Because we were on the lead lap, we should have pitted as soon as they opened the pits. As it was, we pitted on the second lap, which was actually a mistake. The penalty for that is they put us at the back of the field. Fortunately, the guy in third place, Jourdain, they also made the same mistake. So basically, we're still in second, we're still on the lead lap. Jourdain's still in third on the lead lap. It's just that we've got a bit of traffic between us and the leader right now.
Okay, well, still a great battle out there for that podium finish, Derek Daly.
Jeremy Dale, who handles for Michel Jourdain, was that a tactical error on the team's part to bring Jourdain in that lap? Well, we knew there was no way we're racing with Ryan, and we know we can race with Pat. And we did have a small communication breakdown, but we knew with only 3 cars on the lead lap, we're only going to lose some track position. So it's not a big deal, and he's racing with Pat right now.
Okay, Jeremy, so I think the key was they lost track position, not race position.
Well, if they had stopped when they were supposed to, they would be about a straightaway ahead in front of Carpentier. And, I mean, he's downplaying it. They're the same place they were relative, but if they had done it the right way, they would have been behind Hunter Ray with a bazillion cars between them and Carpentier.
Ryan Hunter-Ray has led all the way, but he only has 4 seconds of push-to-pass time left in his computer system. Up at the top of your screen, the running order, and then how much push-to-pass time, the extra 50 horsepower each driver has. Sebastian Bourdais, the points leader coming in tonight, is out. Ryan Hunter-Ray out in front, but there it is, just 4 seconds for him. Carpentier's got almost half a minute left.
And that might be just enough. It looks like he has the speed to hold off Jourdain, but if they get bottled up in traffic, those extra push-to-pass seconds could come in very handy.
Now the push-to-pass time left for Jourdain, who runs third, only 15, so he's got a deficit in that column to Carpentier of 12 seconds as the laps wind down. 42 to go. We've seen Jourdain, Tommy, several times get right up to the back wing of Carpentier's 7 car, the Index car. Can't get by because of traffic, because of the no really outside groove to use here in the corners, or just the dirty air.
Well, we saw him get up alongside at one point when Patrick didn't get a very good run off turn 2 because of traffic.
Watching the field out of 4.
With the lapped cars, though, that's how it works. He's got a pretty good gap now between back to Jourdain. So, but what I was going to say is, when you have the slower cars like Gonzalez, like Sferifico, if you catch them at the exact wrong place and the guy behind you has a big head of steam, you're a sitting duck.
Carpentier has opened up a gap of about 2 seconds now over Jourdain as they fight for second. The error on the pit strategy of the drive-through penalty causing Carpentier and Jourdain to give up a ton of track position to race leader Ryan Hunter-Ray. Now, Hunter-Ray's been the dominant story here tonight. He's led all 210 laps, 211 laps so far, but the other big story in the first 100 miles or so, crashes, especially coming out of turn 2. We'll show you what's happened here tonight on lap 1. British rookie Justin Wilson, his first oval start. He spun the Aj car, knocked the nose wing off. They put a new nose cone on. Wilson's back in the hunt. He's back up to 12th spot. Lap 51, series point leader Sebastian Bourdais from the outside pole. Just had to get away from him. Coming out of the front stretch, trying to wrestle it back in line. Clouts the wall with the right front corner. Broke pieces of the right front suspension. He was done for the night. 10 laps later, Paul Tracy tried to take second away from his teammate. On the outside into 1.
And then, just close quarters, got up a little bit high. Paul thought that his teammate ran him up into the gray stuff, but the end result either way was he was in the marbles and hit the fence.
Hardest hit of the night. This is rookie Gaston Mazzacani from Argentina. Hard hit in Dale Coyne's car off too. Knocked the back wing off the car. The car got airborne briefly. Mazzacani okay. His champ car debut lasts only 80 miles here tonight. Of all those drivers, as we mentioned, Justin Wilson, the very impressive first-year driver from England, the only driver still in competition, was 3 laps down. He's 5 down now, but he's not 18th anymore. He's up to 12th.
And that's what you have to do in the point system. rewards that. We talked about at the start that Craig Hampson has told his driver Sebastian Bourdais and their teammate in the Pacific Air car, Bruno Junqueira, because of the point system, we know this isn't very racy. There's Bruno Junqueira now in the Pacific Air car. If he's going to come out with the lead, if he can just finish this race, if he can get just a few points, he will move in front of Sebastian Bourdais. But again, the orders they gave to the team at the start of the year, they said it's not very racy.
Caution flag on the speedway. Let me interrupt you for a second, Tommy Kendall. 35 to go. The debris flag out again along with the caution. So again, debris being spotted on the surface here at the Milwaukee Mile, and we are back under caution with 34 laps to go. Ryan Hunter-Reay continues to dominate. He leads by 14 seconds. Champ Car Racing lost one of its revered members of the motorsports family just a few days ago. Calvin Fish has that story.
Yes, indeed. Earlier I was talking to Neil Mickelroy, of course, who's now with First Forsyth Racing. He was, in fact, team manager back in the mid-'80s when Doug Shearson Racing had so much success. I also drove for Doug in the American Racing Series, and he's a true gentleman and a very shrewd businessman. And unfortunately, we lost Doug just a few days ago as he succumbed to the cancer disease. But to his family, Fern, his wife, Molly, Rebecca and Sarah, his daughters, certainly we've lost a great friend, but they lost a great dad and husband.
He will be much missed. Doug Shearson, only 62 when he passed away in Florida. That is very, very early to have that fate befall you. Ryan Hunter-Reay out in front, 33 to go. He's led all 217 miles so far. He has that one career win. Tommy Kendall talked about it earlier at Surfers Paradise. One of our Champ Car flashbacks to show you how he got the victory. A moment of success for American Spirit Racing, no longer on the tour, but Ryan Hunter-Reay had his pit stop strategy fall perfectly for him in that situation and scored the upset win at Surfers Paradise. Great way to start your career.
And actually, that was the launching pad for his teammate, Mario Dominguez, one of the weirdest races we've ever seen in Champ Car races the year before, and then backed it up with a legit victory last year in Miami.
Champ Car safety team getting quite a workout tonight at the Milwaukee Mile. Hunter-Reay leads Carpentier by almost 7.5 seconds. Vision, capability without compromise. Lap 221 at the Milwaukee Mile. The green flag is back in the air. Ryan Hunter-Reay takes him down into turn one. The MyJack cars side by side. Heavy traffic for a moment. A couple of cars get close there. One of the PKB cars. That's Roberto Gonzalez with Oriol Servia on the high side in the black and yellow car. There goes Gonzalez swooping to the inside of I believe that's Spirifico getting past.
Right in front of those guys, I saw Jimmy Vasser make in light of what happened to Paul Tracy on the last restart, Jimmy Vasser went around the outside of a car on the restart. There's Jimmy right there.
Jimmy's fourth a lap down. Good run tonight, though, for the veteran.
Here comes Carpentier.
Running in second spot, 4.9 seconds behind the race leader. Less than 30 to go. Tommy, there was some discussion after the last round of pit stops that perhaps Ryan Hunter-Reay might run into problems fuel-wise, that stopping with 59 to go might not get him home, but you don't think that's the case?
Well, that's what Jeremy Dale from Roosport was saying. He said he's right on the limit, but I was wondering if they were insinuating that it's hard to go a full 59-lap stint. I don't think it is. I think they were. I think they thought that Hunter-Reay had stopped maybe a lap too early. In hindsight, it turns out they were the ones that made the mistake. But I don't suspect that there's any concern in the Ardez pit on going 59 laps.
Michel Jourdain shown momentarily there, running third. Here's Allmendinger, continues to sit fifth. Let's ride with AJ down the backstretch. All the caution laps we've had since then certainly should eliminate any concern about fuel economy.
Yes, and the way the fuel windows are set is to make it so that if you have a full tank of fuel, you can always run comfortably more. The whole point being to get away from fuel consumption or conservation. Saw AJ's light flick in there with the push-to-pass button, trying to get by Wilson. But the idea was to make it so that there was no reason to save fuel to try to stretch your fuel window. They said you can't go longer than this, so don't save fuel. Pour full fuel to it all the time. Run flat out. We want to see these Champ cars at full chat and have the quickest guy win.
24 miles to go. Aj Allmendinger with only 6 seconds of push-to-pass time left. But how about this? Jimmy Vasser's used up all of his 60 seconds, so Allmendinger chasing Vasser might have an opportunity. Downstairs quickly to Eric Daly.
Well, boys, this is a light-hearted moment. This is the pit marshal here, Keith Mullenhopt, who lives in West Allis here. He's stood by his post here all day. Now, Keith, what is the age limit for you to allow somebody into this pit lane?
To be on pit lane, they must be 18 years of age have credentials issued by the track or by the sanctioning body.
So if there was somebody 17 years of age in the pit lane, what would you do?
If they were 17 years of age, they would not be allowed on this side of the fence.
What if I told you there was a 17-year-old out on the racetrack doing 200 miles an hour right now? What would you do?
I know there's one out there. I give the kid a lot of credit.
But you're not going to go get him?
Nope.
He doesn't have a credential.
Oh, he's got credentials good enough for me. If CART wants to issue him credentials, that's fine for me.
Good point. Good job all weekend. Thanks, Keith.
That's the only guy in a red jacket all weekend I've met who is willing to compromise on the rules. We've been thrown out of everywhere. You can't ride scooters outside. Golf carts have to have a flashlight on them.
They take their work very seriously here at the Milwaukee Mile. Nelson Philippe, rookie driver, running 14th for the Rocket Sports team. He's gained 3 spots tonight, but he is several laps down to race leader Ryan Hunter-Reay. 20 to go for Ryan Hunter-Reay in the 4-car, the Urdez machine. Watching Aj Allmendinger swing to the bottom. Going down into 1, put another lap on Alex Spirafico's machine. Allmendinger up onto the backstretch. It's been a very, very good drive tonight, and you can really see what Carl Russo has seen in this young driver who won the Barber Dodge Pro Championship 2 years ago, dominated Toyota Atlantic a season back. Here he is in Champ Car. I think he's on his way to a great run, great year.
Yeah, no question. And that team is finally starting to show some signs of life. I mean, it's a new team. The Russo team, Rusport team, moved up from Atlantic with Allmendinger. Carl Russo knew they had their work cut out for this. And then when Michel Jourdain was left without a ride, they added a second car as if it wasn't a big enough challenge to step up to the Champ Cars. But I finally see signs that they're starting to work themselves into shape. Got a lot of talented people on that team. I think everyone in the paddock realizes it's only a matter of time before they're competitive, and we're starting to see some signs of that.
Now, there is a bonus point at stake tonight, talking about the point standings in the Champ Car World Series. It looks as though Bruno Junqueira will walk away from West Allis with the points lead. Sebastian Bourdais, his teammate, was the leader coming in. After his victory in Monterey, Bourdais crashed out, and he was the first car out, in fact, at lap number 50 tonight. So Bourdais will get credit for 18th spot. If Junqueira finishes 6th, he will walk away with the points lead by a dozen over Bourdais. Allmendinger could well pick up a bonus point. He's gained 8 spots this year. Champ Car posting 1 bonus point to the driver who gains the most positions start to finish. And I think that's a good rules addition. I really do. It certainly encourages drivers to go for it, to try to pass, to try to gain as much as they can in the course of the race. Calvin Fish, 15 to go for Ryan Hunter-Reay. What's the mood like down there?
Well, it's emotional. We certainly saw his dad run away when we wanted to talk to him. The crew members have been holding their heads in their hand. Last few laps whittling down here. They're just hoping that they can get a safe run here to the checkered flag. But if Ryan Hunter-Reay should win here this evening and go from the green flag to the checkered flag all the way, he'll be the first guy to do that on an oval since Bobby Rahal did it in Phoenix in 1992. And if he can put a lap on the field, the last guy to do that was Scott Goodyear in 94 at the Michigan Super Speedway. So a lot on the line tonight, but he's really coming of age. What a great performance.
Derek Daly.
Well, again, we mentioned earlier the American Revolution or the American Resurgence here. Ryan Hunter-Reay, I said it earlier, he has the world at his feet right now. If he can begin to put these type of results with the speed he has shown for the last couple of days, that man will go far. And I thought we had a little bit of trouble there when that yellow picture popped up.
No trouble at all for Aj Allmendinger, who continues to run 5th. Behind former series champ Jimmy Vasser, who runs 4th. And Derek, the American Revolution, as you talked, 3 Americans in the top 5. And there are a lot of detractors who would say that American drivers don't get their due in this series, that American drivers can't be competitive. 3 of the top 5 spots belong to drivers from the USA tonight.
Definitely a good night, a week after Memorial Day, on the anniversary of D-Day in Normandy. So I think there's a number of guys, anyone in the know would be hard-pressed to count out the Americans, especially these 2 young guys.
A look back at the eyes of young Aj Allmendinger, races out of California. This would be his best finish in his brief Champ Car career if he can hang on and score 5th position tonight. Our Ford telemetry, these engines winding up. We saw earlier that AJ was up around 11,700, almost 800 RPM as he dives down into 1. And there you see his push to pass number. He has used all but 2 seconds of it trying to reel in Jimmy Vasser for 4. Back on the gas out of turn 4. 10 to go for the lead group of cars. Ryan Hunter-Reay puts lap 240 on the board here at Milwaukee.
Based on my calculation, one silver lining to Carpentier missing his pit on that lap. I believe he has actually led a lap. He should have led that lap, would pick up a point, which would have him, I believe, based on my calculations, tied with Junqueira for the points lead.
We will check as we get ready to put the wrap on this one tonight here at the Champ Car World Series Grand Prix of Milwaukee. There's Jourdain, last year's winner here. He rides third. He's about 4.5 seconds behind Carpentier, who runs in second spot. So we'll have to check with Champ Car Scoring and see if Carpentier did in fact get credit for leading a lap. I don't know, with that penalty, do they allow him to be scored as the leader? I've been watching scoring all night. I have not seen anything other than the 4 cars shown in the top spot. Or scoring is done in a computerized fashion. There's electronic transponders on all the cars. There's a strip buried at the start-finish line that the cars pass over, and that's how the records are kept in Champ Car. As we watch Jourdain, 7 to go this time by. You don't get a good sense of how fast these cars are in this 1 mile oval unless you stand down in the entrance to one. I did that for a while earlier today. It's unbelievable.
And this corner speed right at the center of 1 and 2 and right at the center of 3 and 4 is just mind-boggling. The fact there's so little banking here. To compare a 1 mile oval, the pole, I believe, at Dover on a 1 mile high bank track for a Winston Cup car was 161 miles an hour. Here on a dead flat 1 mile oval, Ryan Hunter-Reay qualified 181 miles an hour. 4 Gs, lateral acceleration, just absolutely an awesome machine. A really good example or a good place for a Champ Car to show exactly what they're capable of.
I remember back in Monterey a couple of weeks ago, Tommy, there was a brief discussion, and you keyed it about just are these drivers really athletes? And I agreed with you completely. I mean, there's no question. These are great athletes at the wheel of these race cars.
Well, you know what 4 Gs mean? 4 Gs, 4 times the force of gravity. And what that means is that a human head maybe weighs something like 18, 20 pounds. What it feels like to the driver's neck at 4 Gs would be 80 pounds. So twice a lap, they're in that corner. They've got headrests built up to help support the head. But if you weigh 180 pounds, the force against the side of the seat would be about 720 pounds.
And there's a lot to tote around at these speeds. Late pit stop for Roberto Gonzalez. 2 to go next time by for Ryan Hunter-Reay, who has led virtually all the way tonight since the drop of the green. Qualified first, got a great jump on the initial green flag, had a couple of car lengths. Troubles for Gonzalez. Fire in the hole, boys. Dumping water on that turbo. Derek Daly.
And they were well prepared because the Champ Car officials as well as the team had water. They had buckets of water and spray water. They knew he was on fire. And I don't see what it is, but it's something under the right side bodywork.
Smoke showing from the rear panel, and the caution is waving with 2 laps to go. White flag being shown, and Rodolfo Levine has whacked the wall in the Forsyth Corona beer car. Levine, who was up in the top 5, he was shown 7th with a couple of laps left. Good run tonight for the young Mexican driver. Ends against the wall in turn 4. Wow, wild finish. So this one may well end under caution. The white flag being shown the field. And it looks as though Ryan Hunter-Reay will complete a flag-to-flag run tonight here at the Milwaukee Mile. They will not be able to remove the 3 car, Levine's machine, in time to finish under the checkered flag. And we will see the checkers next time by for Ryan Hunter-Reay. A surprise again, everyone had been nice and clean for a good long time.
And I suspect if we get a replay of that, you'll see here comes Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Fans are standing here at the Milwaukee Mile. Ryan Hunter-Reay waving to the crowd tonight. He dominates in the Urdez number 4, his second career victory. Qualifies fastest, leads all the way tonight at the Milwaukee Mile. Ryan Hunter-Reay is your winner. Patrick Carpentier gets credit for second. Michel Jourdain, last year's champion here, runs third. Vassar and Allmendinger, the rest of the top 5. 3 Americans in the top 5 tonight at Milwaukee. A very happy young driver. Ryan Hunter-Reay races out of Boca Raton, Florida. Keith Wiggins and the Urdez team congratulating one another on pit road. Great night for that team. Mario Dominguez as the fireworks go off here in Milwaukee. Dominguez had a good run, battled back from some adversity, and ends up getting credit for 8th spot tonight. So Dominguez able to salvage a top 10, even though he had a couple of unscheduled stops on pit road. Ryan Hunter-Reay flips the visor, waves to the fans, coasting down pit road. He will head to victory lane here at the Milwaukee Mile. We'll talk to the winner and bring you more of the stories of the Champ Car World Series. At the Milwaukee Mile, the fireworks going off to celebrate the second career victory, first on an oval track for the young gun from Florida. Ryan Hunter-Reay dominates a flag-to-flag win. He's in victory lane with Calvin Fish.
Ryan, what a superb performance. The team call you the gringo. You got to come back for him now, I'm sure.
Oh, it's great, man. What a day. Jeez. It was such a battle. I mean, with the traffic and you couldn't relax for 1 second. Unbelievable. The guys did a great job, though. Owe it all to them.
It looked flawless, though. You took off at the start. You had total control. You had like a 15-second lead at one point, and then both Carpentier and Jourdain had a little bit of a slip-up in their pit stop strategy. Any concerns whatsoever other than just dealing with the traffic?
Yeah, just traffic. I mean, geez, there was some squirrely cars out there. I mean, it was tough, for sure. I just had to keep it all together and stay sharp the entire time. That's what we did. We had great pit stops. The guys did an excellent job. Will Phillips, my engineer, put a great setup on the car. I appreciate it all.
Ryan, superb job. Let's go down to Derek Daly.
Well, Patrick Carpentier is our lap record holder here from a couple of years ago. I don't care what car you had. I don't think anybody would have cut Ryan Hunter-Reay, but you had a great run.
Yeah, I tried really hard, and for a while I was behind it, but man, I was trying, and I was getting a little bit too loose, and the whole car was just sliding, and he was just going and going. I said, man, there's no way I'm going to catch this guy. So settled for second, and at the end I just stayed there and tried to save second place.
Early in the race, we saw yourself and teammate Paul Tracy go in side by side. Paul was on the outside. He crashed. How did you see that incident from your cockpit?
Yeah, I think it's a sad thing. I went really sideways at the exit there, then the car went sideways, and I just kind of stayed in the middle of the track. Went in there, and I think I went deeper than Paul thought I would go, and he tried to go faster on the outside, and he went way too fast. We didn't touch. He just, tried to make it, and then he couldn't make it, so that's too bad, but that's racing.
Thank you, Patrick. Great race.
Well, to Patrick Carpentier, that's racing, but I'm not sure if his teammate Paul Tracy sees it quite the same. Take a look at the top 9. Hunter-Reay, Carpentier, and Jourdain. Any surprises there for you, Tom?
Well, I would say Jourdain, after a month ago with the test that they had, they were not very competitive, he and Allmendinger, and to not only just hang around, they were pretty quick during the race. So Junqueira, that's what Junqueira does well. He did not have a car that could challenge at all, yet he leaves here with the points lead.
Bruno in 6th here tonight. Second 9, Mario Haberfeld, 5 laps down, but a steady run. Justin Wilson, back after wrecking early on lap number 1, comes back to finish 11th.
Yeah, that's good experience for a guy like Justin Wilson. Didn't get many points, as I said, more points, but leaves here with a lot more experience than he arrived.
Paul Tracy with a 17th tonight after a 7th in Mexico. Paul Tracy's bid to repeat as the Champ Car World Series champion. He's got to get going when we get to the next part of the schedule, Portland, in 2 weeks. Bonus points tonight. Ryan Hunter-Reay picks up 3 for sitting on the pole, leading a lap, and recording the race's fastest lap. Aj Allmendinger picks up a bonus point for passing the most cars tonight, going from 13th at the start to 5th at the finish. Point standings unofficially, Junqueira by 1 over Carpentier.
And that clean sweep by Ryan Hunter-Reay, those bonus points moved him all the way up to 3rd.
Bourdais and Dominguez. Bourdais drops all the way to 4th now in the point standings unofficially. As we take a look at 11th on back here tonight, Alex Tagliani back a little further in the standings right now. In 2 weeks, we'll be with you from Portland International Raceway, the Champ Car Grand Prix of Portland at that 2-mile road course. Cleveland on the 4th of July weekend at Burke Lakefront Airport, and then the Molson Indy Toronto on July the 11th. A dominant run tonight for young Ryan Hunter-Reay, his second career victory. He goes flag to flag. Although the race ended under caution, it was a great performance. That wraps our coverage of the Champ Car World Series from Milwaukee. Be sure and join us. We're back in 2 weeks, Sunday, June 20th at 4 Eastern. Live coverage of the Champ Car Grand Prix of Portland from Portland International Raceway. For Derek Daly and Calvin Fish, Bronte Tagliani and Tommy Kendall,